Have you ever experienced something that broke your heart? The death of someone you love? The loss of a pet? A devastating diagnosis? Or the pain of a dream that may never come true? If you have experienced any of these, please raise your hand. Look around. You are not alone. Grief is the natural, emotional response to loss of any kind. And with over 40 life events that can trigger grief, it's universal. Sooner or later, it touches each of us. This truth became real for me in 2018 when my son Brandon passed away following a 17-year health battle. I thought I would be more prepared for that moment after everything we had gone through. The doctors told us that it was an incurable condition. Then all the surgeries, the transplant, and even when he entered hospice, but as I sat next to his bed, stroking his hair, and he took his last breath, I realized I was not ready. After he died, I felt that I was drowning in grief. It was like the world had moved on, and I was struggling just to keep my head above water and simply breathe. And I wasn't just grieving his absence, but the life we had together, the future we had hoped for, and the part of me that existed only as his mother. One day, as I lay in bed crying in the middle of the day with the blackout curtains drawn, wondering if this intense pain would last forever, when my sister called and asked how I'm doing, I told her that I felt like I was spiraling down into the darkness and I couldn't figure out how to stop. As soon as I heard myself say those words, I thought, if I spiral down, there must be a way to spiral back up. I had known other people with similar losses, and they appeared to have survived and moved forward. I desperately wanted that. That day became a turning point. I decided to find something to help me heal. I read books, I took grief classes, I joined a support group, gathering pieces of wisdom anywhere I could find them. And little by little, something began to shift. I discovered something unexpected, a rhythm to grief, a current that I could move with instead of fight against. That rhythm became the foundation of a framework I now share with others, a way to rise above the waves through 3 intentional practices: release, rebuild, and remember. Release. Let go of any guilt, shame, or pressure to get grief right, to follow timelines or stages that don't serve you. There is no wrong way to grieve. After Brandon died, people would say things like, "You are so strong." And I know they meant well, but those words made me feel like I had to perform my grief in a certain way, a pressure to be inspirational instead of honest. The truth, I was not okay. Healing only began for me when I gave myself permission to fall apart, to cry in the grocery store, to scream in the car, to cancel plans because I couldn't fake a smile. Grief thrives in silence. But when we acknowledge our feelings, when we write them down, when we say them out loud, we bring them out of the darkness and into the light. You need to find the safe space to express your emotions. Well, this can be in a journal, with a trusted friend, with a therapist, or with a grief group, somewhere you don't have to pretend, somewhere your grief can be witnessed. The truth is, avoiding feelings delays healing. You need to sit with your feelings. Embrace them. Let them move through you. You can't heal if you're resisting them. You need to give them space. Felt, honored, and then released. Then let your body release. Grief isn't just emotional, it's physical. Punch a pillow, throw rocks, go for a hike. Move in any way that helps you to release the pressure that can build up inside. Number 2, rebuild. After Brandon died, I wondered if I would even be able to find joy in the world without him. I began rebuilding. I turned to my faith, my family, my community for support. I practiced mindfulness and gratitude. And although everyone's path is different, you can begin rebuilding too by rediscovering who you are now. Loss may reshape your identity, but it can also help you to be stronger. Ask yourself, what still matters to me now? What brings even a flicker of peace? Hold on to that. Be patient in your journey to becoming and let meaning unfold. I remember the first time I laughed after Brandon died. It surprised me, and I felt so guilty for feeling happy. But as I thought about it, it helped me to understand that joy and sorrow could coexist. That's what rebuilding can look like, little moments of light breaking through the darkness. Third, remember, Remember the love that always lives on. Brandon is always with me. He's in my heart. He's in the stories that I share. He's in every act of compassion that I show to others. He's the reason that I became a grief educator. Soon after the doctors left, after telling us that Brandon only had a short time left to live, I turned to him and asked, Brandon, what do you want to do with the time you have? He said, I want to help people who are hurting. Three days later, he was gone. But his words stayed, and they became my mission. Every time you tell their stories, you show love, you serve others, you bring them with you, and in honoring them, you let a part of them live through you. For me, the waves of grief still come. But now, there is also strength and peace, even joy. If you are grieving today and just trying to survive, if healing feels out of reach, please borrow my hope that healing is possible. Healing doesn't mean that the grief will disappear. Rather, it evolves. The pain softens. Joy returns. And hope builds a different, yet worthwhile future. No, you are not alone. Release what you don't need to carry. Rebuild who you are becoming. And remember the love that will always live on. Yes, grief is inevitable, and the waves of it will come. Let hope be your anchor, the silent strength beneath the waves, reminding you that when the grief swells, you still have the power to rise.